Love a good mystery that leaves you wanting more? Check out my podcast. Hi, I'm Kadra, the host of Perplexity, a mystery podcast. I tell tales every single week that have left me perplexed. You'll hear true crime cases, mysterious disappearances, learn about cults, hear baffling sightings of cryptids, chilling paranormal encounters, and even dark and weird history. I release new episodes every Wednesday, and you can listen anywhere podcasts are available. I'm also on Patreon, and you can even watch me on YouTube. Perplexity, a mystery podcast. Stories that will leave you perplexed.
Welcome to the Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy podcast. I'm Declan, the son.
And I'm Jane, the mom. This is the podcast where we talk about brutal crimes, bizarre occurrences, and get you drunk with cocktails themed around one of our stories. To lighten things up, we'd like to end our time with a chaser. Please keep in mind some of our stories might be upsetting to young or sensitive ears.
We love hearing from our listeners, so feel free to contact us by email or social media. You can find our contact info in the show notes for this episode. If you'd like to support us through Patreon, you can find us there at Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy podcast, or use the link in our show notes.
Welcome back, everybody, for a very special episode of Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy. How are you today, Mom?
I'm doing great, Declan. How are you?
I'm doing good on this special day. And
Yes.
by special day, I mean it's our 4-year anniversary of our podcast,
Yay!
which is crazy. We spoke about it last week, but our
insane.
podcast is in preschool.
Yes. I hope that we
They're
get a good
learning
teacher.
what shapes are. I don't really
Yes.
remember what preschool is, but that's shapes, right?
I mean, you kind of knew that before. I think really what preschool...
Because I was hooked on phonics.
You were hooked
You
on
home
phonics.
preschooled me.
I did for sure. I feel like
Do they still
preschool
do that?
in and of itself is more social training, like teaching kids how to learn to behave in a school environment with other kids and with a teacher. And, you know, we're going to sit in class and we're going to do a project and that
You
kind
have to
of stuff.
start the psyops young. It works better when you start them young.
100%. Yes. Yes. The indoctrination starts early.
Hooked on Phonics is still around.
I will say
Switched
it
from
worked.
its 1990 cassette tapes and VHS tapes to modern program that combines a digital learning app with physical practice kits.
It worked well for you.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how important the whole concept of hooked on phonics and phonics were until I realized that your dad did not learn phonics. He was not taught any kind of phonic concept, and he cannot spell his life out of a wet paper bag.
Okay. I think that, granted, I don't. Phonics is just spelling using sounds.
No, it's like
basically.
learning how to pronounce things by recognizing that
make
like a
and, like, the letter
PH makes
combo.
a F sound for phonics.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Well,
he memorized words.
for me, I'd say I was good at spelling when I was younger, but ever since I got an iPhone and that has spell correct, my
Yeah.
spelling has gone down the drain. Like,
Yeah.
I would, if you asked me in a spelling bee right now to spell alphabet, I would struggle.
I don't
It's
think your
just-
dad could do it at all.
Well, I don't think I was naturally gifted. I had phonics drilled in me.
You did. But I mean, I think you probably have stronger spelling skills and then also stronger capability of word, like trying to figure out how a word would sound in the English language, mind you. Like if you came across a new word that you'd never seen or read before, you'd probably be able to figure it out a little bit better than he could because he's a sight memorization. Like if he's never seen the word before, he's going to struggle with it more than if he had. you know.
My thing is like I can spell if I'm writing. I can't spell in my mind, if that makes any sense. Like I have to
Oh,
like look at the
interesting.
word when I can spell guarantee if I'm typing or writing it. I can't
Yeah.
spell guarantee if I'm just looking. Like if I'm thinking about how to spell guarantee,
Right.
can't
Yeah.
spell. I have to type it and I'm like, oh, that A goes over here.
Yep. You're a sight learner like I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are we talking about? We're distracted by phonics.
We were talking about our 4-year-old podcast
yes.
and going to preschool.
He's graduated from diapers.
Yes. Our podcast is potty trained.
Yes.
I hope to God our podcast is potty trained.
I don't know. There's a couple shit episodes lately.
No, that's true. We've had some stories.
Sometimes we phone it in.
Like, oh, man.
Yeah.
So because it's our anniversary, we're going to do a little different take on the cocktail. And rather than bringing a new cocktail, we decided to go back and revisit our older cocktails and bring our personal favorite to the episode. And so what is your favorite cocktail that we've done on the show in the last 4 years?
So I picked this cocktail because I thought we had already done it. That's how I thought we made this cocktail on the podcast, and that's why I found it and I liked it. And it's one of my favorite cocktails, the Stone Sour. But apparently we hadn't done it until recently.
Yeah, we did it recently.
My cocktail is this Stone Sour, which I have to continue looking up because apparently a band is called Stone Sour.
Yes, you've heard Stone Sour, the band.
I have, and I haven't heard that name until I just looked it up. I was like, oh, Stone Sour. And I was like, yeah, I forgot they were
It's a good band.
Yes, it is. It was like early 2000s rock, like V8. What was that?
No, they're
not
still
VHS,
releasing stuff. VH1.
VH1, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, VH1, what a throwback. So to make a Stone Sour, it's 1.5 ounce bourbon, 1 ounce orange juice, 3/4 ounce lemon juice, 3/4 ounce simple syrup. You can garnish with a cherry if you'd like, but shake all ingredients and strain into a glass with ice. What cocktail do you have for us today? What was your favorite? I think I already know, but
my favorite is the mint julep, which I've liked quite a few of the drinks that we've made and have been surprised by them, but I think the mint julep is a cocktail that I make nearly on a weekly basis. Sometimes, like especially in the summer, it is a fantastic summer drink. And I will make it sometimes multiple times a day, not even multiple times a week. It's so good.
My only issue with it is the salad at the bottom of the glass when you get that last sip and it's like, oh, you brushed my teeth.
Well, you know, if you have it in a bar or a restaurant, they probably don't aggressively mulch the mint the way I do, but yeah. I really get in there with the muddler and pulverize the living shit out of it so that I really get every drop of mint flavor is going in my drink.
Yeah.
So my version of the mint julep is slightly different from an original. I do 1/4 ounce of lemon juice and the mint leaves. And I muddle those mint leaves, like I said, until they're basically just mint pulp in the bottom of the glass, like you said, mint salad. The lemon juice is just to give it a little extra, little spark in the cocktail. And then I do 1 ounce of simple syrup, 2 ounces of bourbon, and crushed ice. And mix that all together, top with a little bit more crushed ice. But the reason we own a Pebble ice machine is because
It's for your
I
mint
am
juleps.
obsessed with mint juleps.
Yeah.
So not only did you bringing the mint julep to the show years ago and getting me turned onto this drink and going, oh, one, I like mint juleps. Two, this is a great way to use bourbon, because I don't think I really liked bourbon before this.
Was that the Kentucky heist?
Oh yeah, let me go back. I should have looked it up, but I didn't.
I think that was from the Kentucky Derby episode.
It was episode 15 from the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, where it was, because that was in Kentucky.
Yeah, and the Kentucky Derby famous drink is the mint julep.
Exactly.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
exactly. And we did that back in November of 2022. And so I have been faithfully drinking mint juleps.
See, I would have never thought you would have liked that when we started this, because you were not a fan of bourbon when we started this. And
I hate mint.
I don't think you were a fan of mint. Yeah.
Nope. But now I have 4 mint plants on my back deck.
Yeah.
And I have an entire bar that is half bourbon, so that I can try all the different bourbons in my different mixture of mint juleps. And so, yeah, thank you, Declan, for introducing me to the mint julep, but also damn you, Declan, for introducing me to the mint julep, because now I'm obsessed with it.
There's another tequila drink that you like, which I didn't expect. I forget what it is, though, but
I don't remember.
There was one that we made that you liked. And
I think like, wow. that, yeah, there was one that I was like, oh my God, I don't even realize that that's tequila.
Yeah. Well, if you have been listening for a while and you remember what drink that was, let us know in the comments below.
Yes, please, because I'm not going to go back and make all of these terrible tequila
90%
drinks.
of our drinks are gross, so...
I would say maybe 75 we haven't liked. 75% we haven't really cared for.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
And maybe 10% or 15% we've been like on the bubble of this is okay, but it's not great. And then maybe 5 to 10% we've been like, this is a damn good drink and I love this.
Yeah. The Stone Sour. What was that other one we did with the strawberry recently?
The strawberry basil one
that was
just
probably
recently
our best
did.
Drink we've done on this entire show.
I got to go back. That was the Oh My Dear.
Yes, the Oh My Dear. That was my favorite.
Dear.
But I drink more Stone Sours than that because it's just easy ingredients. So that's why
True.
I picked that one.
And we often don't have fresh strawberries.
Strawberry syrup.
Or strawberry basil syrup, which...
Did we tell them what we did? We made our own strawberry basil syrup, which kind of... It wasn't quite as good, but it was 9.5 out of 10% of the way there.
Yeah. It was nearly identical. Because the original cocktail was muddling fresh strawberries and basil together. And I was trying to make it in a batch cocktail for multiple servings, and I didn't want to do that with strawberries. So I just did equal parts cut strawberries. No, I think I did 2 cups of cut fresh strawberries, like quartered, a cup of sugar, a cup of water, brought that to a simmer on the stove, let it simmer for a good 10 to 15 minutes on a low simmer, and then took it off and threw in a huge amount of basil and then let it steep for an hour or 2 and then strained it. And it was almost identical to the original one and a whole lot easier to make because you're not muddling strawberries and basil
every time someone wants one. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So that was the workaround, which I think we did it as an experiment and it worked quite well, I think. So to everyone out there, thank you again for listening for all these years. If you've been a day one listener, and if you're not, and this is your first episode, then you have 4 years of back
Content.
catalog to go through, and you can binge us for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick episodes for the most part. Most of them are
Yeah.
under an hour. So
Under an hour usually. I don't know if
Yeah.
we've ever done one over an hour. If it was real close to an hour.
I don't think so, because I don't think my software lets me
Will
edit
let
over
you.
an hour. I think that's been a timeline I've been keeping in my mind this whole time. So
Nice.
all of them are under an hour,
Nice.
most likely.
Yeah, maybe it ends up being an hour with some trailers for other shows and
Yeah.
different things. But so instead of doing news stories today, we are going to provide you with some updates on stories
Yes.
that we have covered over the last preschool amount of childhood.
And most of our stories take place in the past. So it's out of all of our episodes, what is this, 208? I think
Something like that.
we have 6 updates. What was it?
We have 7
Okay.
substantial updates that
Rather than just like, oh, Joe Blow appealed again and got denied.
right. Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a ton of those where
right. These
Mr.
were
Jenkins.
updates that we went, oh, that is definitely different and that is new information. And so we figured for a fun anniversary show, we'd just provide some updates.
Yeah.
And I'll go first with the Bryan Kohberger case, which we covered
He was
in
the Colorado
episode-
guy, right?
Yes. No, Idaho.
Idaho. Yeah.
Yes, we covered it in episode 155 back in July of 2025, so a year ago. And Kohberger was sentenced to 4 consecutive life terms for the murders in Moscow, Idaho of 4 college students, which occurred in the fall of 2022. You remember this one now?
I think I also saw the update on my YouTube, but we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, he was originally sentenced to those 4 consecutive life terms based on him pleading guilty to the murders. So he kind of shocked everybody back in last year because instead of going to trial, he just pleaded guilty and was like, okay, I did it. And so they sentenced him. But part of his plea agreement was that he could not appeal any part of the sentencing or the conviction or anything. However, in July of 2026, rather than appealing because he couldn't do that, he filed a motion seeking to withdraw his guilty plea. And he claimed that his attorneys coerced him into pleading guilty, that they failed to investigate or provide evidence adequately. And so his claim is essentially he was duped into pleading guilty, and now he wants to withdraw that guilty plea, which would take him to trial. It's not, I mean, I guess technically it's not an appeal because he agreed that he would not appeal anything. But this is something different. And that motion has not been decided on at this point. So we have a partial update, but not a final update on him.
What was his original sentence?
4 consecutive life terms.
I mean,
Yeah.
I understand, like, you got 4 life terms. What's it's gonna hurt if you are found guilty again? What are they gonna give you, 5? That
Right.
doesn't fucking matter. Like,
No.
I don't know. I think it's weird. I just saw a thing recently of like a guy who got sentenced 1 year life, or like 1 life probation, without probation, sorry, 1 life sentence without probation, and then a second life sentence with probation, which is...
What?
That seems redundant to me. It was 2 different crimes
Okay.
that he was charged with.
Well...
Which is the weird part. It's like, I understand you have to charge them multiple times for if they committed multiple crimes, but I feel like you just stop after 1 life sentence without parole. That's... Yeah. Unless that guy dies in prison, gets resuscitated. Even then, I don't think they would let that slide. I mean, that would be another court hearing, and they'd...
I'm betting that maybe they wanted to make sure that if something ever happened on the one case and it got overturned, that he wasn't getting out based on that one case being overturned. Like if he got life without parole and then got a second life with parole, if something happened to that life without parole case and it went away because some bullshit happened, then they at least have him on the life with parole. Maybe. I don't know.
So I just looked it up, and this is probably going to be an episode in the future. An inmate named Benjaman Schreiber did experience this and died from septic poisoning due to kidney stones in March 2015. Had to be resuscitated 5 times.
Whoa.
And the court appeals rejected his appeal because which I think is fucked. If you had to be resuscitated 5 times, that's a life.
Yeah, but you don't want him out there, because how many people would try to do something to get
so
that
the judge
loophole?
wrote he was either alive, in which he must remain in prison, or he is dead, in which case the appeal is mute.
Right.
He died in 2023, so maybe I'll talk about that. That's interesting.
We definitely should.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about that personally between each other and been like, we should do this.
Okay.
What's our next update?
Our next update is Rex Heuermann and the Gilgo Beach murders, covered in episode 117 in December 2025. We covered this originally. This was the information. While searching for missing woman Shannon Gilbert in 2010, police uncovered the remains of multiple murder victims along Gilgo Beach. The investigation went cold for years until DNA, cell phone data, and witness accounts led to the arrest of Long Island architect Rex Heuermann. Rex, sorry, not Wretch. You're Wretch when you see him because he's a big, ugly motherfucker, but
he was
arrested in 2023. Yes, he was. This is my swamp.
Yeah.
When we covered this story in 2025, it wasn't resolved, but now we have completion to the case. In April 2026, Heuermann pled guilty to 7 murders connected to the Gilgo Beach investigation. More recent reports state that he also admitted responsibly for an 8th killing and is serving multiple life sentences, which is, I think it's crazy that happened so recent, that the murders happened so long ago and he was just caught like within the past couple years.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing all those news articles and I didn't know who he was until he was arrested. I'd never heard of the murders. And then when you look into the story, it's like, oh shit, this guy.
I think when we first started the pod, Dad had said, oh my gosh, there's a serial killer on Long Island. Have you guys heard about it? And are you guys going to cover it? And at that point, there
wasn't enough information. Yeah. It was like they found the bodies and then.
That was it.
Yeah.
They didn't arrest this guy until 3 years ago. So.
Yeah. It makes you think of how many are out there just walking around.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Don't give me some FBI statistics of how many serial killers are out there functioning and getting away with their crimes. I don't want to know.
There's one in Austin right now. Be careful if you go to Austin and you're gay. There's a lot of gay men that have died under mysterious circumstances that end up in, I think it's Bird Lake in Austin. And their Austin police is still refusing to admit that there's a serial killer. I think there's like 6 guys that ended up like that, if not more.
Wow. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Eek.
That's hopefully they find something about that soon, because
that's a lot of victims with no information.
And they all were found in the lake. Suspicious.
It's just a popular dumping. I mean, the lake is, lakes are popular. No,
not for dead people. I mean,
no,
they're popular for boaters and fishermen.
Yep. Wow. I don't like that. We'll have to wait till some more developments come out in that, and we can. You know how I feel about unsolved things.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it if it's like, if it happened so recently and it's unsolved, then I don't want to be spreading rumors or whatever the fuck.
No.
Yeah.
Plus, I just don't want to know all that information until I have an ending to the story.
Yeah, it's like watching the first half of a movie and never finishing it.
Yes. That'll actually play into my chaser for later. Little Easter egg for my chaser at the end of this episode. But our next update is on the Menendez brothers, which we covered in episode 131 back in February of this year, 2025. Wait, no, February of 2025. That's last year. So a year and a half-ish ago we did that. Jesus Christ, it's 2026. My God.
Do you have a concussion?
I might have had one or two. As a refresher, the brothers were accused of murdering their parents back in 1989. They were convicted in 1996 and sentenced to life without parole. However, in May of 2025, the sentencing changed. At that time, they were getting a lot of media coverage about their case, some extenuating circumstances regarding their case, and the sentencing. I mean, it was like all over social media. Celebrities were posting stuff about the brothers and how they should be released from prison and they should get parole and they should, based on some information that came out after their convictions. And I don't know if that's what led to people kind of reevaluating things, but the judges in 2025 changed the brothers' life sentences from life without possibility of parole to 50 years to life. So they were eligible for parole. It was heard in the fall of 2025. At that time, they were both denied, and they should be eligible for new parole hearings in 2028. So in a couple of years, maybe they will be getting parole based on the change in information.
They should stay in there.
I don't know. I mean, they
There's
killed
a lot
their
of theories
parents.
on the thing. The fact that they went to a Lakers game together right after with the
I mean, I don't know. There was so much, and we talked a little bit in the episode about problems with, I think they had 2 trials, and the first one was problematic and got they couldn't finish it and they had to start a new one. And I mean, there was some changes in information, and the attorney representation wasn't great for all of that information. So I think that's probably what changed the minds of people. And, a documentary came out about them last year or right before that.
And there's a thing with like crazy ladies that like to write people on death row, like,
I don't
that
get
Love
that.
After Lockup, like where they
there's I can't
If you
even.
want to be in a pen pal relationship with a psycho, go ahead, be my guest. But you know what you're getting yourself into. Like, you
Yeah.
can't. Oh, I wonder
Well,
if there's any. I wonder if there's any stories of like pen pals writing criminals and they get out and they get. We'll do some
ooh,
research.
bad
Maybe
things?
there's a good story of
Maybe
that we could
there
talk about on
might
the
be.
podcast about that.
That's a good idea. We should write that down.
Yeah.
Mark it in our brains for some research.
Our next update is to the Return to Nature funeral home, which I haven't heard an update on, but I did this story and I remember being appalled by it. So I'm
Yes.
surprised I hadn't seen any updates yet. But
Yeah.
this was on episode 72. Wow. that was a long time
72.
ago.
Yeah.
December 2023. Here's a quick refresher on the story. In 2023, investigators discovered 189 improperly stored bodies inside Colorado Return to Nature funeral home. Families who believe their loved ones had been cremated later learned that many had instead received urns filled with concrete.
So
I remember.
insane.
Oh my God, yeah. So here's the update on the story. Both owners have now received federal punishment.
Yay.
John Halford was sentenced in June 2025 to 20 years in federal prison and ordered to pay approximately $1.7 million in restitution. How are you going to do that from prison? Even if you have a job, you're getting paid 30 cents an hour. Like,
no.
That just seems like okay.
I don't know how that works either. Like, I mean, if he were to ever like write a book, I think there's laws preventing him from making any money on that kind of thing. But I don't know how
but
that.
I doubt he
whole
has
restitution
1.7 million, especially after going through court. If he did have millions of dollars, they're probably wasting on lawyer fees.
Yeah.
So how do they get that money back?
He didn't have it
fake
to
money
start.
that exists. Oh, here you get Monopoly coins.
Yeah, maybe.
Carrie Halford later pled guilty and was sentenced on March 26 to 18 years. Federal authorities said that the couple improperly stored or mishandled at least 190 bodies and committed pandemic loan fraud.
Crazy.
A lot of people did that, but they weren't fucking fake melting body. Like, oh, God.
No.
And to think what they did with the actual remains is that.
I don't want to know. Bad things. Just, it's terrible that anybody would think to do something like that.
It's like, what would you want the bodies for anyways? Unless you're selling like organs, but they're dead people. You can't sell dead people's organs unless they're stored properly. It's like,
right. And harvested appropriately.
What is it? The body museum, maybe, but they're not going to buy 100. Well, maybe they will. They have a lot of exhibits.
They might.
So maybe they.
Yeah.
But, yeah. God, that's just like, you don't expect Nana to just be a bag of concrete. Like.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Super weird. That was a gross story. I remember.
It was super gross. And I am glad I hope to God it's not happening anywhere else, because.
You know it is, though. They can't catch every single criminal. There's people that get away with murder, and this isn't even close to murder.
My thought is that any other funeral home that was doing this shit, maybe they would go, ooh, we might actually want to be. Yeah, we should stop that. Because these people got caught and are now in prison for it. So maybe we should stop that shit and actually do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But if that were the case, you're right. Serial killers and murderers would be like, oh, the last guy that they caught is now in prison for the rest of his life. But yet we still have new cases.
Yes.
Okay, our next update is for Havana Syndrome, which we discussed in episode 51 in August of 2023. Havana Syndrome is a cluster of unexplained neurological symptoms, which include dizziness, headaches, balance problems, and cognitive issues. It was first reported by U.S. diplomats in Havana, Cuba, back in 2016, which is why it has gotten the term Havana Syndrome as its name. After doing some research into the situation in 2025, the government made an official statement that the intelligence agencies, like the CIA and the FBI and all those, they did not believe the symptoms were caused by a foreign adversary. So essentially their statement was, we don't know what caused it, but it wasn't somebody else. It wasn't Russia or any of these other countries. Cuba didn't do it to us. We don't know what it is, but it wasn't another country. However, in March of 2026, U.S. intelligence chiefs supported withdrawing that assessment. This change in opinion came after an unnamed scientist in Norway experimented on himself using a machine that created pulsed microwaves, which caused similar symptoms to Havana Syndrome. So at least the guy did it on himself and he wasn't experimenting on his neighbors. So good job, unnamed Norway scientist. And around a similar time, the U.S. government came into possession of a directed energy device that started conducting experiments. So I don't know who the U.S. government is doing these experiments on, but it's probably, based on their history, random people or military members. I don't know which.
Well, so I don't want to get political, but during the Venezuelan, like when they went and stole Maduro,
yeah,
Trump talked about the discombobulator gun, which sounds exactly like the is like, oh, it makes them all weird and goofy, and like it sounded exactly like the Havana Syndrome weapon that they had. And in the 70s, I want to say, there was a congressional hearing where like the CIA was questioned about their stuff, and they had a heart attack gun, which they had to show to that's a little thing that gets hidden and pops up in my YouTube algorithm once in a while. But
heart attack gun.
They've had this shit for a while, like weird little, yeah.
Wow.
So even more recent news, when they stole Maduro, they talked about some kind of Havana Syndrome sounding device that could discombobulate people with, like,
interesting.
Yeah. The discombobulator, I think, is what he called it.
The device that they got a hold of, or that I don't know if they purchased it or they found it or they made it, I don't know, apparently came about at the end of Biden's presidency. So fairly in the last few years, they came to have this device.
Sure, they did.
So now the intelligence agencies are not saying, they're not saying that it definitely could be caused by a foreign adversary, but the official stance is no longer that it's not likely. So they're not saying the neighbor did it. They're just saying we don't think that the neighbor did not do it. It's very double negative.
Just recently, like, recognized as an actual syndrome, though, like Havana Syndrome. I think, like, in the Cold War, when it was happening and shit, they just like, oh, you're crazy. But I think recently it just got.
Well, it wasn't the Cold War that Havana Syndrome started. It was in the 2000s.
Oh, okay.
It was first reported in 2016.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I mean, we've been doing shit for a long time using weapons and stuff. Strange, unique weapons. But Havana Syndrome itself as a syndrome was first documented in 2016.
In 2016. Oh, okay. Still recent, for a long, like,
yeah.
I'm
sure shit was happening before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, super. That's super scary in my opinion. But our next update is for Benjaman Kyle, covered in episode 81 back in February of 2024. Benjaman Kyle was a man who reportedly was found near a dumpster behind the Burger King in Georgia. He was unconscious and had severe amnesia, not remembering his own name or how he got there. Many years later, he was finally identified through DNA as William Powell. In 2026, a docuseries called The Many Lives of Benjaman Kyle was released, outlining his case and revealed some new and interesting information. The series contained new allegations about Powell's past, including suggested links to unsolved crimes and organized crime. This new information has not been proven in court, but it is definitely questionable information that makes watching the series interesting. Which, did you watch?
I did watch the series, which is why I added this to our updates, because I watched that series and I was like, holy shit, I did not know that information. There was nothing when we did this story 2.5 years ago. There was nothing that I found that talked about potentially he could have been involved as a hitman in organized crime. And in the docuseries, they didn't say yes, he absolutely was, but they sure did allude to the likelihood of him being involved in organized crime and potentially having something to do with some disappearances, either related to that or not related to that. And originally all the information about him was, this is a really sad story. That this guy got beat up, nobody knows why, he doesn't know who he is, and he was found behind a Burger King. Reportedly, he had been injured, but in the docuseries, they interviewed the manager, I think it was, of the Burger King, who said, yeah, a guy was found there. He was not injured. The phone call that has been like listed in documentaries as the original 911 phone call is not the 911 phone call. It was the original documentary about him, to like before he was identified through DNA. There was a college filmmaker, if I remember correctly, who really was interested in the story and hired an actress
to
pretend to make the call.
Okay.
So it wasn't a genuine 911 call, which
that makes me
I didn't know.
The amount
I was
of
watching
true crime things you watch where they include the 911.
Yeah.
I never thought that could be an actor. Okay, that makes
Neither did I.
Super
but
interesting.
This one,
I never thought of that.
In the recent docuseries, they outlined, oh yeah, no, that was 100% fake.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Okay, so, I watch a lot of true crime stuff like that, and I'm like, I never thought about the fucking phone call being fake. Because normally they have the like fake. That's so easy to fake though, if you know what it sounds like. Like you just do the fake phone crackles and typing on the keyboard, and so where are you, ma'am? And you just stay quiet.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting.
It was crazy. That docuseries was like, oh my God, I never would have thought, like, one, to fake the 911 call, and another documentary.
Yeah.
But I guess technically it wasn't a documentary. It was more like a storytelling. I don't know. It was wild, but there's some interesting information in that.
What do they call those? Docudrama? Docudrama, not drama-mentary.
Yeah, drama-mentary. I like that. Drama-mentary. Our next, and I believe our last update is for Alex Murdaugh, which we covered the Murdaugh family murders in episode 38 in April of 2023. As a reminder, Alex Murdaugh was a prominent South Carolina attorney whose family's legal dynasty started to unravel after his son Paul was involved in a fatal 2019 boating crash. Paul was the intoxicated driver of a boat and crashed it, and one of the people on the boat was ejected and drowned. Then 2 years later, Alex's wife Maggie and their son Paul, the boat driver, were both found murdered at the family's hunting estate. When investigators started digging deeper, they uncovered Alex's staged roadside shooting that had happened after the murders. They also discovered he had massive financial fraud that he'd been perpetrating, and he was ultimately convicted of the murders in 2023. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms without parole, while his financial crimes were waiting to be resolved. There's been a huge, big, fat change in that case. In May of 2026, the South Carolina Supreme Court overturned Alex's murder convictions and ordered him to have a new trial. He was not released from jail because he was still in jail for his financial stuff. We'll get into that. But the court did not rule he was innocent. They just said that the evidence was insufficient and they needed to do a new murder trial. The judges came to this finding because the former county clerk of the court had improperly influenced jurors during the 2023 trial, and that denied him of his constitutional right to a fair trial. Which apparently she admitted to her shenanigans in her autobiography so that she could make a buck, and said, oh yeah, I influenced the trial by doing XYZ, and so now he's getting a new trial. So he will be retried for the murders. Since we aired that episode, Alec pleaded guilty to numerous financial crimes. He received a 40-year federal sentence for fraud, wire fraud, bank fraud, and money laundering, and a 27-year South Carolina sentence for state financial crimes. The former county clerk, whose misconduct led to the murder convictions being overturned, is now facing her own legal battles for her shenanigans. So she gets to go to court for being a dumbass.
Most people go to court for being a dumbass.
That is very...
You don't end up in court unless you're a dumbass. I mean, or if you have, like, most people who end up
really
in criminal
shitty
court
attorneys
are dumbasses.
And yeah, true.
Well, that brings us to the end of our updates. I mean, major updates, I should say. There's some smaller updates in other stories that we've done, but not notable.
But nothing that was like, I mean, like during my research, I found like the Malaysian Air missing plane. They're still looking for it. Okay. Yeah. Guess what? They still haven't found it. They're still looking for it. Okay. That's why I didn't put it in the update, because I was like, okay, they're still looking for it. Yeah. Great. But those are the major updates.
You have a chaser for us?
Well, as I alluded to earlier, I had a chaser as we were watching a show called Based on a True Story. And it's a show about a couple who find out that their plumber is a serial killer and they want to do a podcast with him, and they're going to do it anonymously. It's got Kaylee Cuoco in it from Big Bang Theory, and she's been in a ton of other shows. And I was watching it thinking, I have to put this as a chaser. And then we watched the end of season 2, which ended on a giant cliffhanger. And I was so pissed off. There's no other seasons.
They're not making anymore?
Nope. It ended a couple years ago.
Damn, that sucks.
So that was going to be my chaser, but it's not my chaser. My chaser this week is a watch recommendation.
Well, so you should only be allowed to end on a cliffhanger if you know you're getting a next season.
Agreed.
Like that shouldn't happen. The amount of shows that end like in the middle of a cliffhanger is like,
right.
At least do some kind of wrap up if you think you're not going to get
one episode.
Like, yes.
Give us, even if it's a half an hour, film a half an hour that
you just
and
recap
just
shit.
kill everybody off.
Yeah. Exactly.
If that's what you got to do, that's fine.
Yeah.
And just give me some finality to it. Don't arrest somebody who didn't do anything and be like, oh, sorry, we didn't get picked up for another season. It's fucked up and it pissed me off.
Yeah.
So I will say I make this recommendation based on it's a new show and it hasn't finished airing yet. So hopefully it doesn't end shitty, but it's a watch recommendation for a show on Hulu called Furious. And it is about a female serial killer who is killing people that she has had some contact with in the past that did her wrong. But only, I think 3 episodes are out so far, 3 or 4. So far, it's really good. It's the main character cop is Fiona from, why did I just space the name of the show? Oh, you like this show. Shit.
With the fucking tweaker
Chicago
uncle.
And the drunk ass dad.
Yeah.
And oh my God.
I know it's on the fucking tip of my tongue.
I know. I'm gonna have to look it
Shameless.
up. No. Yes, Shameless.
I almost said
She's
Last of Us. That kept
I
covering my
can't
mind,
think of her
but
name. Emmy. I don't know. Anyway, it's a pretty good show. I like it so far. But all things aside, it could end on a shitty ending. So I might have to retract this at a future date. But right now, I really like it, and it's good.
Nice.
And it really fits in with the kind of stuff that we talk about and watch and recommend. Yeah. So what's your chaser today?
My chaser is a video game recommendation for all the computer players. It's called Project Zomboid.
Ooh.
And it's a zombie survival game, but it's top down. So kind of like, if you think of like older computer games, how they were like top down and you run around and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, but they use so instead of like, if you're running into a house, you can't see the inside of the house. It's entirely based on your character's sight line. So it's like super realistic. So if you're running around and there's a big fence, there could be 20 zombies on the other side and you can't see them until you go around the fence and actually like line up your sight line with them. So it's super it's super realistic in both that aspect and like, if you have a million things of canned food, you can't eat them unless you have unless you find a can opener. You have to be very specific and like you can find cars and you can do maintenance on them and you can check like under the hood and be like, oh, this car is all dinged up. It has a missing tire and like you can fix it up. It's so like, I've been playing for I think 20, 30 hours and it like, I'm still trying to learn how to do stuff. It's like you can pick up books and like read books. You get scratched. You have to bandage yourself and the bandage can get infected if you leave a dirty bandage on for too. It's so in depth and like realistic that I die a lot because I'm like, oh, I can do it. And then it's like, oh, you got scratched and the scratch got infected and then the infection spread and now you died because it's infection because you didn't change your dirty bandage. You couldn't find any antibacterial, but you found bourbon, but the bourbon wasn't good enough to clean up.
It wasn't a high enough proof.
Yeah. It's super in depth and it's like really hard to play, but it kind of puts into like perspective. Everyone's thought like, oh, I could survive in the zombie apocalypse, but like, maybe you can't.
Interesting. Okay, that's cool.
It's super fun. And if you're like Dad and you get sick at first person, you'll be able to play this because it's top down and
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Like, interesting. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. I love a zombie apocalypse stuff, and a good zombie apocalypse game where it's actually realistic is just what I'm looking for. So
Right. Cool.
well, thanks for sticking around, guys, for 4 years. And if you're
Yes.
new, go back and check out the rest of the 4 years.
Yes. Definitely.
We got plenty of episodes to listen to, 207 other ones.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. We got a catalog for sure.
We should have got some like party poppers or something to like
I know.
blast off at
I
the
got
end
nothing.
of this. But
Like, although I would get one of those like things that you blow in and it goes whee, and the paper spins out.
Kazoo things.
Fuck, I hate that. It hurts my ears. So you're welcome, everyone, that we didn't buy something like that.
Thanks for sticking around, though, and
Yes.
hopefully you stick around for 208 more.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. All right. Love you, Mom.
Love you, bud.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, friends. Thank you for supporting our podcast. Please share our show with your brutal and bizarre friends. Give us a Boozy follow on your favorite podcast platform. If you're feeling extra generous, we'd appreciate a 5-star rating or review as well. But maybe do that sober so all the letters are in the right place.
You can find all our contact information in the show notes. We love hearing from you, and if you're interested in helping us stock the bar for our future Boozy episodes, you can find our Patreon link in the show notes as well.